Finals, the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and somebody out of breath here today as well after doing that. You know him as 17-year veteran of the NFL. You know him as absent from the show again today, right? Last show of the week. We're off on Fridays here for a couple more weeks. Last week of July, we'll be back to our 5-day-a-week schedule out there. But Dale Hellestrae, you know, your 3-time Super Bowl champion. Well, he's off again today. He's up, as he told you last week. He's up in Sedona. Birthday week for him. I saw he had his grandkids up there. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was the day before for the day and things to that effect. I hope he's having a good time shopping, getting his Aura fixed, checked out. He'll be back on Monday as well. Today, of course, Uncle Lou comes in at 9 o'clock. So come and join us with him as well. Catching us live right now on YouTube. TME Media AZ is where you can find us as well right now. And appreciate you for doing that. Share us with your friends as we have a lot of fun here. And I'll get you started here at the show and get you through till Lou comes in here later in the show. Of course, we know our World Cup finals. We know who's going to be in that. Well, I did horrible picks there in the semifinals. Both of my teams lost. So what do I do now in the finals is the question. I do have a team I'm leaning towards. And I already told you, Spain, France, winner was going to get it. But how do you ignore Argentina? That's the big question. This comeback again yesterday. I put a lot of it on England, to be honest with you. But at the same time, you can't leave a team as good as Argentina in that position. We'll talk about that here coming up in this first hour as well. From that perspective, Major League Baseball gets started, quote unquote, second half of the season. Gets started again tonight. Now, Diamondbacks don't play till tomorrow against the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll get you set up for the weekend and ready for that as well coming up. The NFL getting ready to kick off in terms of training camps. Next week, we'll be talking middle of the week. Cardinals reporting coming up here as well. It's exciting times, folks. Of course, here in the sports world. ESPYs were last night. Does anybody watch the ESPYs anymore? I saw the comedian from Saturday Night Live. I saw his opening thing and stuff like that. Just not. I don't find him funny at all. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you guys might, but I just don't find him funny at all. I just don't. And then I did find one amusing part of that show. And those of you that know me and been following this show for a long time will know which part I giggled at. I might play that clip for you here today as well. Coming up because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a little too much. Just because it's just funny. Oh, you got a microphone in front of you, man. You do. What are you doing? Just keep your questions to yourself, Mike Tyson. We'll talk about that coming up and have a little fun with that also, here on the program. So Lou's coming up. Don't forget, Pit Stop will be today before 2 o'clock. So for you racing fans, catch that coming up here later on today as well. And then Real Matrix will be new tomorrow as well. I'll forget to tell you at some point during the show. So the Real Matrix is a new episode. Energy is coming up this week, noon tomorrow on Rumble and on your favorite podcast system as well. For those of you that enjoys that show, Energy this week. That will be live tomorrow, even though we are dark tomorrow. 2 more Fridays we are dark. Getting re-energized, getting stuff done around here. Tomorrow, got a meeting here tomorrow morning. With some people coming in here to want to do some stuff and, help out with the business program and obviously move into the main event and our other programming here. So that's tomorrow morning. So it'll be fun, but we're wrapping up the summer quote unquote break, even though we're still working on the Fridays. But the Real Matrix will be live tomorrow as well. Robert chimes in on the YouTube chat and says, "Is this the Fade Steven portion of the show?" Yeah. It's why I did not place, I just do small bets. I just do it for fun. I don't care. It's $5 a bet. I put $100 in there years ago and I'm just playing off of that. It's just something just mildly fun. Don't care if win, lose, obviously you want to win, but I don't lose my mind if I lose. It's $5. It's cool. Whatever. I did not place one bet on the World Cup. all game. Oh, you know what? I take that back. I had the U.S. I put money on the U.S. winning that first game. I did win that one. I haven't placed another bet on the World Cup. Just it's unpredictable, man. Unpredictable. Yes. Whoever I'm going to tell you today is going to win this final, go the opposite. I told you all along, Spain's winning this thing. I told you the Spain-France win. I had France winning it as the best team. Spain beats them. I'm not going to call it an upset because Spain's a really good team. Spain was the favorite to win this thing going into this tournament. I thought England would win. England had that game in hand. Well, we're going to break this down in just a minute. But Argentina, how can you ignore Argentina's comeback? Spain, Argentina. If Argentina wins the World Cup this year against Spain on Sunday, first time since like the 60s, a team has repeated in the World Cup. It's a rarity. But how can you sleep on Argentina? I've got, they won Cape Verde. They had to come back and win that game late. Not come back. They had to win that game late. Cape Verde kept coming back. They had to come back against Egypt down 2-0. I got these stats for you, folks. You cannot sleep on Argentina. They could be down in the 99th minute in stoppage time. With a minute to go, and they could probably pull it out and win it. Just the precision of that pass for that game winner yesterday. It was just so amazing. 7 English defenders, 2 Argentinian defenders. Messi has to kick it around 2 guys coming back at the ball on top of it and have them not tip it or block it. Gets it past those 2 guys up in the air, and he puts it the one place that only his guy can go and get. Then he ends up in the back of the net for a winner. The precision of that goal is just special. Me and my daughter were in the car yesterday, and I said some choice words. I was like, sorry for my language. It was such a beautiful goal, man. It was amazing. Ethan says, I'm sad that Henry got out, but Messi will win probably because FIFA won't let Messi lose on the last World Cup for him. Ethan's in on those conspiracy theories on FIFA. I'm seeing a lot of people on the conspiracy, just another disappointment for England. And I told you before, I put the loss of that game yesterday on England. Yes, it's great. Argentina has to do their job to win it. England made one fatal mistake. I saw it early in that second half, and I was like, oh, what are you doing, guys? After they scored that goal, what are you doing? Knock it off. The best defense, folks, is an offense. And England made the mistake yesterday, made a terrible mistake. It would be akin to, for those of you that don't know soccer very much, or football, as I like to call it, it would be akin to prevent defense, right? Prevent defense prevents you from winning. Pretty much what England did yesterday, and they ended up losing. And then they lost all momentum, right? They had no momentum at all. So even after Argentina tied it up, you still didn't think England could come back because they had no momentum at that point. Made a terrible, 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 terrible mistake. And I get it. Robert, I think it was Robert. You text me on the England sports radio talk and how they were just losing their minds. We do talk sports radio. Sometimes we get excited and we say things, we exaggerate them, for effect and stuff like that stuff. So I'm not going to go so far to say the England manager needs to be fired and, fire everybody on the team and move on like a lot of the English fans are doing today. But that's an unexcusable mistake they made yesterday. 11 men on defense for most of that second half, allowing Argentina. If you saw that last goal, or you saw the Egypt game, or you saw any Argentinian game, Cape Verde game, Argentina, man, their precision, their passing, what they can do to score goals. Nobody else can do it, it feels like. And to just put a 1-0 game to go to the championship for the first time for England since 1960-something. To put all of that stuff together and to go into a prevent defense where you just put all 11 guys back there and you're just like, we're going to stop them. They had that game-winning goal was defended perfectly. 7 English defenders. and Messi curls that thing around two guys up into the air, and the Argentinian guy just gets up there and puts it in the back of the net. That's the skill that England was messing with. That was their fatal mistake yesterday. I got some stats for you on it as well. I'll give you the pick coming up. Robert said, sack him, sack him. And so it was, Robert, it was you that sent that video. That was hilarious to see. These things, man, they're life and death. This is a religion. World Cup is a religion for these fans and these countries. And especially like England. What would be an equivalent on that? England would be like the Cubs when they went to the World Series and won it. Remember that Cubs fan base? How they all lost their minds and were crying and celebrating and all of that stuff. That's what it would have been. The farther you go, the more the hopes get up there that you can do it, and then just dashed. So I'm not going to go so far as say the manager needs to be fired, but I mean there needs to be questions on why he decided to do that. The best defense is an offense in football. Think of it, if I'll put it more in like football terms for those of you that aren't familiar with football. This would be like you're up by 3, fourth quarter, 2 minutes to go. 2-minute warning happens, you're up by 3. You get the ball, they score, you get the ball back, you're at your 20-yard line. What's the best thing to do in that situation? Best thing to do is get a first down. Make them use their timeouts. Get a first down. Get a second first down. Wind that clock down to nothing on that drive. Don't even give them the ball back and give them a chance. Right? England didn't do that. England did yesterday. The equivalent would be you're 3 and out. The other team gets the ball back. You punt. Bad field position. You punt. They get the ball like the 40-yard line on their 40-yard line. 3 timeouts left or 2 timeouts left. They got to kick a field goal to win it. That's what England did yesterday. You let them have a chance to do it. And it's just, couldn't believe I was watching it. When I was watching it, then that goal went in by Argentina. I was like, England's still not winning this thing. They've lost all momentum. It was, first of all, what a dichotomy in that game. First half, snoozer. I get it. Not a lot of offense, not a lot of shots on goals in the first half. There's just a lot of keep away. And you're just like, whoo, it's going to be one of those types of games. All right, cool. After England goes up 1-0, and they go into this defensive shift, and then it's just an onslaught of Argentinian shots, just barely missing the goal. Just outside, headers outside, shots just barely missing, goalkeepers, England goalkeepers stopping it. I mean, it went from traditional snooze fest football to, oh my God, this is exciting football in like a matter of minutes. And it stayed that way for a long time, but it was interesting to see as well out there. I know Robert tagged me on that sack him, that English, talking about their team. I'll retweet that out for everybody as well, because Robert sent that to me, because you guys people are losing their minds. Like I explained to people, this is a religion for these people. There's like, there's your church on Sunday, and then there's football. Man, that's it. It is an emotional affair for these guys out there. I guess you could say like football would be that way because people lose their minds here about American football, especially on Sundays and stuff like that. But it's still, I still don't think it's at the same level here as it would be there. In terms of those levels out there. So we got Uncle Lou coming in today o'clock. We got to talk about some of those fights last weekend with Lou. I mean, And, of course, this weekend, a fight's coming up as well with him. It's a good end of the show. Like I said, even if you're not a gambler, man, Uncle Lou you're at your office and you have a couple of your coworkers or even your boss, right? You got to favor up to the boss a little bit out there. Your boss is sitting there and he's a big UFC guy, or not a big one, but he likes to talk it a little bit. And you're like, I don't know how to talk this. I don't know anything about it. You can learn stuff here, folks. So you can at least talk intelligence to them as well, even if you don't put any money on it or anything to that effect. I know we do the gambling angle on that for fun, but I just enjoy Lou. I just enjoy Lou coming in here and just sharing the knowledge on these fighters and what to look for this weekend and those types of battles. That's what I enjoy on it. But, like I said, I'm not here to. I ain't gonna get rich on what I do with the apps out there at all. It's no money. It's nothing like that. And I just enjoy the knowledge side of it, man. You just be more knowledgeable out there. Learn something new. Gonna go see the Odyssey this weekend as well, folks. So, my favorite part about I saw this tweet yesterday, and that guy said that he saw somebody, or he had somebody tell him, um, the guy went and saw like or he's going to go see a Thursday night opening of the Odyssey movie tonight, is what he said. And so he told some people at work, "Hey, I'm gonna go see this movie on Thursday night." And he said somebody at his work actually said to him, "Hey, no spoilers." So in his tweet, he said, "Man, you've had 3,000 years to learn about the Odyssey." That would mean spoilers. I thought that was a clever little comment there as well from that side. So join us on the YouTube chat, of course. TME Media AZ. Even when Lou's in, send your stuff in. We'll see it. We'll talk about it a little bit. Of course, 623-252-6670 is our text line. You can reach out to us as well. Then, of course, at TME Sports Show on X, hit us up, tag us there as well. We see them. We always read them. We see them. We talk about them. All a lot of fun. By the way, we got it. We got it this morning. I was wondering if we get it today or tomorrow. We got it this morning. Tori's got to go. This one actually had more O's than before on the text line, 623-252-6670. We have some fun with somebody's text that in all the time. Good and bad. He quiets down a little bit when they go on a run. He or she, I should say. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl out there, but it is funny to see. But we got one of those this morning. No Diamondbacks baseball today. They play this weekend, but there's a game tonight. The Open Championship is underway, of course, obviously being played in England, so it's overnight. I was up last night for the first tee times. 10:30 air time was the first one. I did not stay up longer. I actually fell asleep shortly after that as well. What I saw. Leaders right now, 4 under. D. Brown, SJM, both 4 under. You've got several people at 3 under, of course, at that point. McIntyre, he's 3 under right now, tied for 3rd. Molinari, they're tied for 3rd as well in that spot. Bryson DeChambeau, again, missed the last 3 majors, missed the cut for the last 3 majors. Trying to make the cut here. He is 3 under for him, tied for that 3rd place. So DeChambeau with those custom-made, 3D-made irons there in tied for 3rd for him as well. Henrik Stenson there in the 10th spot. No, that's because he's -2 with all those ties as well. Scotty Scheffler, by the way, is finished for the day. Most of the guys are. There's a couple guys out there still, but it's late in the day over there in England. Scotty Scheffler, -2. So he is tied for that 10th spot there with -2. So a good start for Scheffler here after missing the cut at the Scottish Open for him. SW Kim there at -2 as well. I'm looking for the bigger names here. Tyrrell Hatton, he's -1 going to this. John Rahm's -1 as well. Tommy Fleetwood, also in that -1 range for him. You notice who we're not saying so? Colin Morikawa was -1. You notice who I haven't said yet? Some big names haven't been mentioned. As of right now, Xander Schauffele's even here. He's out there still right now playing. Auberg's out there right now still playing even. Matt Fitzpatrick even as well. They're only through 3 right now. Max Homa finished the day +1 for him. Friend of the program. Well, friend of Dale in the program, I should say, as well. So let's see here. I think, where's Rory at? It's the bigger question here. Did I miss something on Rory here as I scroll through this? There's live updates on the leaderboard, by the way, is what I'm seeing here. I will have to get the updates on this as I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I missed his name somewhere on here. I'll find out. I'll find all the information out there as well. Like I said, just live leaderboard. I just wanted to go through it and give you the updates live here. And of course, I'm screwing it all up. That's what we do here. Do here on the program. But the big story everybody's watching right now is DeChambeau and what he's doing. Obviously, Scheffler's a big follow, but he did what he was supposed to do out there. So now, of course, he's taking Bryson DeChambeau's taking a lot of heat for these irons that he's doing coming in. Oh, Rory, I did skip him. He's right after Scheffler. He's out on the course here, even right now for Rory. Still out on the course as well for that Open Championship. It's going to be a fun Open Championship. Like I said, it's kind of an interesting tournament overnight. So unless you stay up and watch it live, you can watch the replay throughout the day. You just have to avoid kind of knowing what happens. I don't mind knowing in golf. I don't mind knowing what happens. And then I can watch it because you can kind of tell, right? Like, oh, I'm going to watch this guy. This guy made a run. I want to watch how he does it type of a situation. So I don't mind as much there. But then you go back to the World Cup, right? Obviously, the biggest story these last couple of days is we've been in the middle of this All-Star break and things. Unless you want to count the fact that Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, went to the WNBA commissioner and put pressure on her to suspend, of course, the Mercury player for the Caitlin Clark situation. I found that an interesting story just because the NBA commissioners telling the WNBA commissioner what to do. Found that a little interesting from that perspective. But if it's not that, then it's World Cup talk out there. So Argentina, I don't know how you can count Argentina out going forward in this tournament for this last game. I just have no idea how you can do it. I was confident France-Spain winner was going to win this thing. I have no idea now. I'm going to tell you my pick here in a few. But if you go back and think about it, I remember the Argentina-Cape Verde game. We were sitting at a bar there, or a restaurant, Mexican restaurant, there in La Jolla, watching the end of this game. I was eating tacos, fantastic fish tacos, things to that effect, chip salsa. Beautiful time. Crowd loving it. Cape Verde game. Argentina winners in the knockout rounds. 111th minute for Cape Verde. To win that game. 92nd minute in that stoppage time is how they beat the game winner there against Egypt. They had to come back from 2-0 down in the 80th minute to score that one. Switzerland, they had to win that game in the 112th minute. Right? Extra time. England, 92nd minute to win that game yesterday in stoppage time to get that second goal in the win. Argentina, I don't know, you can't count Argentina out. I'm stumbling over my words right now because I don't know how else to say it. You can't count Argentina out in any stretch of the imagination. It will be interesting, though, because Spain will keep the ball away from you, right? We saw that in the France game, specifically. Spain's able to keep the possession of the ball and move it around and get you frustrated that you can't get the ball movement and stuff like that. Argentina hasn't led after 90 minutes of any knockout game. Folks, 90 minutes is the end of regulation, right? Then you go into the stoppage time. They have not led at the scheduled end of a game all knockout rounds, folks, and they're in the final. They've either been tied or down in the 90th minute when the game is supposed to end, and they win it in the stoppage time. Just unbelievable. There's no other way to put it. This is epic by Argentina. It just, dear God. I think they purposely are down in the 90th minute just so they can spectacularly win it at the end. You want me to give you another one here? Want to see how this comeback from Argentina? You cannot count Argentina out in this game on Sunday. Goals before the 79th minute for Argentina. 2 before the 79th minute in the knockout round. So this is Cape Verde, Egypt, Switzerland, and now England. 2 goals before the 79th minute in all of those games, folks. After the 79th minute, 9. 9 goals in the last 11 minutes of regulation and then whatever the stoppage time is. What? They don't score until the game's over. And then they all of a sudden wake up and get it done. This is unbelievable what you're seeing from Argentina. Now, when you flirt with that stuff, right, it tells you eventually it's going to end, right? Eventually it's going to end if you keep flirting with that, where you have to score with and win the game in stoppage time and come back at that point. It has to end. They've played the most minutes in extra time, most minutes on a pitch in the World Cup this year and stuff to that effect. All of that. Eventually, it's got to end. But does it end against Spain on Sunday is the question. We'll get to the pick in a minute. But I don't know. Can we just say that we hope both teams have fun on Sunday? Argentina's got history on their side. It's Messi's last World Cup, you know. He's already winning last World Cup 4 years ago, put him in the echelon above Maradona as one of the best, if not the best of all time. Definitely the best in Argentina history. You win 2 World Cups back to back? Oh my God. He's going to be sitting up there next to Zeus and all the gods. Messi will be if he wins on Sunday. This is epic levels that he's going to be facing here as well. This is going to be fantastic. I know a lot of you guys aren't football fans, aren't soccer fans, and you're like, Steve, settle down. No, folks. This is amazing what Argentina is doing. It is epic. It is amazing. Put it in any category. This is akin to winning a last second, a Hail Mary, and you get it. And you get the Hail Mary to win the game in football. If you want to put it in football terms, Hail Mary, and you win it. That's fantastic if you do it once. That's fantastic. They've done it in every knockout game. England, Switzerland, Egypt, Cape Verde. That would be like you're winning 4 games in a row on Hail Mary type plays. You're down all game long and you have to fight back and you do it. 1 time is spectacular enough. 2 times, oh my God, you've got my attention. This is fantastic. 3 times you're going, okay, this is nonsense now. 4 times you're acting like me right now. Just like, what is just happening here? What are we going to do? Is Argentina now the team you got to pick in the final? Because they can't lose. All these people are whining too about how, FIFA wants them to win. They're doing all that stuff. I do hate that talk that's happening and stuff like that. That does bother me as well out there. I mean, this is fantastic what we see. Before we get into my pick here, though, because obviously we're off tomorrow and Saturday, of course. Game Sunday at noon here, Phoenix time and everything. England. I'm trying to just disaster of a game after they went and up 1-0. They just made a terrible decision. They put everybody back on defense. England had just 12% possession in the last 37 minutes of the game. 12% possessions. So forget that it's Argentina with Messi, the greatest player of all time. I know some people say it's other people, but close. He's one of the greatest of all time. You got him. Forget about him. Then you got all these other superior Argentine frontline players that can put the ball in the nets and just unbelievable kicks to set up their players. Forget that it's Messi and forget that it's Argentina. Anybody. You could take Cape Verde. No disrespect to them. Paraguay. Any team in the field. Any team anywhere. Whether if your kid's soccer game here coming up, and you're just constantly on defense and you only have 12% possession, meaning they have 88% in a game, you know you're leaving that game probably losing it. You're just giving. Even mediocre players with that many chances can put it in the net, right? And they were just fine with it. They were just fine with it. They just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. Just, I'm not one to, I'll call for jobs as necessary. I'll go this way. Knowing what the sport is to these people, meaning England and what a religion it is, and their disappointment, folks, they dominated that game until they scored that goal. Then it was all Argentina after that. England should be in this final. No doubt about it. They screwed up themselves. They messed it up. I almost feel like you have to make a coaching change or a managerial change at that point. That's a stink in that organization now that you want to kind of unload, right? So the top two teams in the world, Argentina's number 1, Spain's number 2. I haven't been sleeping on Spain. I just thought this was the year France was going to get past Spain in the World Cup in a big environment. I was wrong. They're going to meet in the World Cup final for the first time, the number 1 and 2 team. Now, keep in mind, FIFA didn't have rankings back in the day. I think early 90s is when they instituted world rankings. Let me look. Yep, 92. So 1992 is when they put world rankings in there. First time the number 1 and number 2 team are going to face off in this tournament. What does that tell you? Should be a great game. The two best made it to the final. With this expanded field, all the fun we saw, all of that, the top 2 teams make it to they rise to the top of this tournament. Number 1 and number 2 battling it out. It's also the first World Cup final between reigning champions of Europe, that's the EuroLeague, and South America, which is the Copa America. So 1 and 2 ranked teams and the teams reigning champions of their part of the world, Europe and, of course, South America. What does this tell you? This tells you Sunday is going to be an epic top-along game. I think Spain is the better team. I think Spain is the team that should win this. Let me put it that way. Maybe not the better team, but Spain should win this. There's no doubt about it. I still feel that way. However, you cannot ignore what Argentina has done late. Yes, they had some easy competition. They had to win those games late. That's a discount for Argentina. But you can't sleep on Argentina. Spain has what? Like only 1 or 2 goals scored against them this whole tournament. Whole tournament. That's all they've got. You don't score on Spain. If you're down 1-0 on Spain, it's going to be hard to win this game. But who's the team that can do it? Argentina. You can see them doing it. This is an epic matchup. I said the France-Spain matchup in the semifinals is probably the finals. I know it's recency bias based off of yesterday's performance by Argentina. This has the potential to be the game of the tournament by far as the championship game. The France-Spain one ended up being kind of a dud because France, just couldn't get past Spain and Spain kept away. This could be a 0-0 game or a 1-0 game till late. And if Argentina's down, you're going to be watching. You're going to be watching to see if they can put it in the net. Absolutely. Sunday's going to be fun, folks, at noon. Sunday at noon. It's going to be fun. Is it recency bias if you think Argentina's going to win with Messi? No, they're a really good team. At some point, it has to end. You can't keep winning games that way. Logic tells you that, but they keep doing it. The difference between Spain and England, for instance, will be Spain won't do what England did. Spain will control the ball for hours on end, it'll feel like. You saw that in the France game. They'll just kick the ball around, back and forth, keep possession for long periods of time. So you're going to have to take advantage of your opportunities, your few opportunities you get if you're Argentina. Spain isn't going to do what England did. They're not just going to pull all 11 back and let Argentina just shoot. When they're down, if they're down. They're not going to do it. Spain will go on an offensive side. You got two of the world's best players matching up in this game. This is a fantastic game. My winner. Fade me. Fade me if you're smart. I was good most of this tournament until the semifinals game. I'm sticking with Spain. Spain's going to win this thing. I'm not going to bet on it. I'm just going to sit back and watch this thing. It's just going to be epic. This is going to be an epic game. Two heavyweights battling it out. Look at the storylines. Can Spain win it? Spain has been really good at football for a lot of years. They don't win this very often. They don't make it to the championship very often. Then you got the world heavyweights who win it. All right, Argentina, they won it last World Cup. They can win two in a row for the first time since the 1960s. Messi can go out with 2 World Cup wins. Going to put him on a level of worldwide football level of sport that you don't even know. We don't even know it. We can't comprehend what level he'll go to here in America. The rest of the world knows, though. The storylines on this game are going to be fantastic. This game could be a 0-0 ball game of a lot of passing with precision shots at times, where it's just sit back and wait. Argentina's offensive style is just sit there, pass it around, move around, and then boom, ball on the net. Spain's style, keep possession. Move the ball around, keep possession. Move it around, keep possession, boom, on the net. It's not going to be the most exciting game if you're not a soccer fan out there. But for guys like me, this is going to be fantastic. I can't wait. I'm staking with Spain to win this game this weekend and hoist the World Cup. I think they're going to control it. If they get up 1-0 on Argentina, they're just going to keep the ball away from Argentina. They're not going to get the shots like they did against England. Spain's not going to let them dominate with 12 possession. Spain's not going to have 12% possession. They're just not. I'm going to stick with Spain. I'll also tell you this. I'm not going to be surprised if Argentina wins. I'm not. I think this is epic proportion. You don't see it too often in the NFL where you get the two best teams battling it out in the NFL, right? It's usually like the NFC Championship game. Oh, this is the World Series because the AFC team sucks, or vice versa. World Series, you don't always see this. Of the best team against the best team in the AL. You don't always see the matchup. It's always like a really good team or the best team against a team that's just hot in that moment. You got the two best world guys going at it this weekend on Sunday. I'm going to stick with Spain. I'm going to leave it up to you if you agree with me or not. Tell me who you got in the chat as well. Robert says, Argentina is like a predator that plays with its prey before he eats it. That's an excellent way of putting it. I'll leave it. They don't do it on purpose. But yesterday's game kind of felt like, evenly matched game, not a lot of action in the first half. Then Argentina was like, let's let England score. Let's give them that false sense of winning this thing. And then we got them. The difference is Spain will keep possession of the ball. You saw it against France. How frustrated did Mbappe? See, I'm doing my joke thing again, my Modern Family thing. But how frustrated did the front line of France get against Spain? Because Spain just kept the ball away from them. That would be I think that's going to be the different point in this game. But I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this thing. But I'm going to stick with Spain, so probably fade me, folks. It would be special to see Messi, who I'm not the hugest Messi fan. I know his talent. I know all that stuff. He's just a different cat. I'm more of a Ronaldo fan. Just his personality is more fun, type of situation. I don't hate the guy. But it would be fun to watch an epic performance as well, right? I think so, at least. There's my World Cup hit here coming up as well. Argentina, Spain. Don't miss it. Sunday at noon, folks, for you out there. Let's take our break here. Come on back. Uncle Lou's coming in this morning. as well. When we come back, let's talk a little Major League Baseball and get you set up for the weekend before Luke gets here. Come on back, folks. Main event. And we're back here, main event here on this Thursday as well, leading up to Uncle Lou coming in. Talk some UFC stuff out there, but we need to talk a little Major League Baseball. Is a game tonight here on the schedule here on this Thursday. Mets are at Philadelphia. 4 p.m. our time tonight. Christian Scott and Aaron Nola battling it out there from Philadelphia. 4 p.m. ESPN game tonight. So if you want to get back into your Major League Baseball routine after the All-Star break. Game tonight, but Diamondbacks don't get underway tomorrow. But first, ESPYs last night. I don't watch them. Cut some highlights of there and everything. Ohtani won an award last night. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, and I forget the other person giving that award out. Now, you're going to have to pay attention to this closely. It's all normal. But at the very end of this clip, after they say Ohtani's not there, he's probably out, gambling or something. I don't know what Ohtani's doing these days. Mike Tyson has to ask a question. Now, it's off mic, but you can pick it up on the mic. Here we go. ESPYs last night.
And the ESPY award goes to, check this out, Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei could not be here tonight. He sends his gratitude and appreciation to ESPN and everyone who voted for him.
Shohei's the guy.
Catch it? Did you catch it? First of all, he says his name, and then he looks over at Paul. Is that Jake or I don't know which brother that is. I don't really care. But he looks over him and goes, "Did I say it right?" So he says that first. Then they give the award, and they say he's not going to be there, and he turns around and goes, "Is Shohei a guy?" And whoever that is, Jake Paul or whoever it is, goes, "Yeah, it's a guy." My God, man. Mike Tyson. I mean, who's going to tell Mike Tyson he's wrong, first of all? I ain't going to be the one that's going to tell him that. My God, Mike. There's microphones around you, buddy. I just giggled with that. I just giggled with that a little bit out there. Okay, so baseball. One game tonight, and then everybody gets back underway tomorrow. I noticed that the Diamondbacks don't have any pitchers listed for this weekend yet. We're going to get that information probably later today. We're also here on this Thursday, probably going to get a lot of injury updates. We know Tommy Troy is on the IL, 15-day IL. UC joint after running into that wall before the All-Star break. So he's on the 15-day DL. They put him on there yesterday. We know Pavin Smith cleared waivers. And instead of voiding his contract and becoming a free agent, he decided to stay with the organization. He's in AAA Reno now as well for Pavin Smith, for him. What it means is nobody picked him up. I'm a little bit surprised just because his contract is not terrible. It's an affordable contract, but at the same time, has not been playing well, right? So you view that as we're not going to pay that much out there as well, from that perspective of things. So St. Louis this weekend, throw up the NL wildcard standings. Let's get you all updated on that here as well. These games against St. Louis are here in Phoenix this weekend for the 3 games. 6:40 today. I'm sorry, 6:40 on Friday. I know that. I know that's the case here for the game. Let me check Saturday here while you guys look at the wild card. We'll talk about that here in a second. I want to say it's that early start time on Saturday. It is. It's 1:10 p.m. on Saturday here, St. Louis and Arizona. And then, of course, on Sunday, like every time, they're all day games there, 1:10 on Sunday as well. So night game on Friday, 6:40, and then 2 1:10 games this weekend for your Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, why is this series important? You're 2.5 games out of the final wild card spot. Uncle Lou's got the old man disease here. He's trying to read this thing on our screens in the studio. It's cracking me up. 2.5 games out of that final wild card spot, your Diamondbacks are. Look who's in front of you by 1.5 games. The St. Louis Cardinals. They're 1 game behind that final spot there. You come into here, you're playing at home. Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to regress in the second half of the season. Now, does that start this weekend? We'll have to wait and see. You're coming back refreshed. Obviously, Erod got some work in the All-Star game for an inning, so nothing bad, just like throwing normal round stuff. You're going to get Soroka back here. Now, how soon do you get him back is the question. Can Brandon Pfaadt continue to keep pitching the way he is the big question going into this, along with Merrill Kelly and that. You can make some serious runs here in this first series of the game. First series of this quote-unquote second half coming up here. So we'll see. When we come back on Monday, I guess the question is your Arizona Diamondbacks going to be closer to that last spot? Or are they going to go backwards from that perspective out there as well? And we'll see. Pitching matchups are going to be, your normal ones out. When does Soroka get called back up? When does he get a start? Is it this series? Do they push him back a little bit still? Is the bigger question that you have to pay attention to. Even Erod will be available in this series, as I said. Pitched in the All-Star game on Tuesday, but it's only 1 inning. Pitched Saturday before that, so 5 days from Tuesday would be Sunday, right? Just thinking here. We don't do math here. So we could see Erod on Sunday as well. But they haven't announced it, at least nothing that I've seen. They've announced it out there. Troy on the IL. They did retroactive the IL for Troy, so it's 15 days, but it's not way back. We'll see how his shoulder rebounds from that as well out there. Just really quick, since we're going out of the All-Star break, let's set up the AL as well for you here. Just let you know where we are after the All-Star break. AL wildcard standings, if you will, as well. This one's a little bit small, Lou. This one I can understand you having to lean in a little bit on as well, right? Because I put the AL leaders on the top of this. At least like I'm going to look it up myself. Twins and Mariners are tied for that last wild card spot for them. Both below 500 for those guys. 48 and 49. See, if you notice here, you have the Tampa Bay Rays above 500 winning the AL East. Chicago White Sox, folks, winning that Central. With a winning record. Texas Rangers winning their division there, 49 and 47 on the season. 2 games above 500, similar to the Diamondbacks here. Yankees are that first wild card spot, well above 500 for them. Cleveland Guardians still outperforming that everybody thought they'd be there. Diamondbacks have them coming up on the schedule above 500. Everybody else, though, under 500 after that. Seattle Mariners, Twins, tied for that spot, a game under 500. Boston Red Sox, half a game out. 2 games below 500 for them as well. So, and it gets worse as you go down in the standings. So I just wanted we'll get baseball set up here since we just had the All-Star break and going into this weekend as well. The other baseball news that kind of caught me by surprise yesterday a little bit, what was that, like a month or 2 ago? we heard that the Padres had an owner, were going to be sold to a new ownership group. A big deal. Billions of dollars and everything. Well, then people started asking, right? And Manfred, of course, during the All-Star break, does the state of baseball stuff. He does it during the World Series and stuff like that as well. So Manfred's speaking and everything, and people ask him about the Padres sale. Like, what's happening with that? You announced it a few months ago. When you're voting on that? Has it been voted on? Are you going to vote on it? What's the deal with it? Here's Manfred's quote about the Padres sale right here. Quote, he said the announcement might have been premature. Excuse me? You announced a new owner, somebody's buying the Padres for billions of dollars, and they don't have their funding put in place? That's the problem, folks. They said the new ownership group, Feliciano, they didn't yet have the funding in place to support the offer. So what are you doing announcing it? That you're a several billion-dollar entity. What are you doing? How are you making that kind of a mistake? Does the funding get in there? He's worth the money to get it. Don't get me wrong. But getting the funding is still another deal, right? You're negotiating interest rates. You're negotiating, vendor. You're negotiating minority partners. You're doing all of that stuff, right? Out there. You don't announce something like this unless the funding's in place and they're ready to go. I'm shocked. This is shocking here from my eyes on what the Padres situation is. If this falls through after you announce them because they can't get the funding in place, just how embarrassed are you going to be as an entity that you allow this to happen? And then you're going to go back to the second place person and be like, hey, now it could be yours. Just match their offer. And you're going to go, no, I'm not matching their offer. I know. We might be the second place team. I don't know. We might be the second place bid. But I'm not raising my offer. It's stuck soundly. My offer is soundly set at $100,000. I'm not raising it because your other one fell through. No. I don't care how much you beg, Manfred. I'm staying at $100,000. Just saying. But that is shocking news in my eyes for the Padres side of things. And then the average 9-inning Major League Baseball game for this season. Now, this is through July 8th. The time frame for an average Major League Baseball game through July 8th this year is 2 hours, 42 minutes. Now, 2023 was when they introduced the pitch clock, and we saw games get a lot faster in that time frame. So 2 hours, 42 minutes. That's 4 minutes longer than the 2024 season average. Oh my God, games are getting longer. Nobody notices the 4 minutes, right? That's the average. Yeah. But games are more than 20 minutes shorter than they were before the pitch clock was introduced in 2023. Don't the games feel like they go faster now? Like, there'll be nights where I'll turn the Diamondbacks game on, like they're on the East Coast. I'll turn the game on. It starts at 4 or 5 or whatever, and I'll turn it on. And then I go grab dinner or whatever. And I come back and I miss like 5 innings. It's that quick. It didn't feel that way before the pitch clock. It did feel a little bit slower at those time frames and stuff like that. So it is interesting that is the time frame that Major League Baseballs are going here at the beginning of the season as well. They just move. That Father's Day game I was at, I mean, it went quick. It's fantastic. The days of, and I know it's funny, 2 hours, 42 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I get it. It's 20 minutes shorter, right? But a 3-hour game isn't long. Again, you go to a football game, an NFL game, or even the ASU games are even longer. A 7 p.m. ASU game means you're not leaving that stadium till like 11:30, if you're lucky. 11:30. And you just sit there and deal with it. Don't think twice about it. Well, I do, because I'm an old man. You go to a Cardinals game, starts at 2, over at 4:30, 5. Don't even think twice about a 3-hour game. And we're celebrating 2 hours and 42 minutes. It does crack me up a little bit out there as well. Before we take our break and bring Lou in here as well with the Diamondbacks getting out there, did you see this news? ABS challenges are going to be allowed in college baseball as well. Yeah. The NCAA Rules Subcommittee has approved the usage of the ABS, the automatic ball strike system, is there. It can be used in any game where the tech is available. It does require Baseball Oversight Committee approval. It is expected to be implemented not until 2027. So we're still a year or so out. The thing that I have on that now, ASU plays at Phoenix Muni. They do have a system that would work for that. So they would be able to use it. But doesn't it feel like it needs to be universal or not universal? So if you don't have the system and they start using it, so you come to Phoenix Muni and you have the ABS system. And I don't know, I'm not picking on them, but let's say you go to West Virginia, right, for a Big 12 game, and they don't have it. So you can't use it that weekend. That seems, it's either everybody implemented, so meaning the Big 12, Big 12, you have to have ABS in order to participate in our baseball season, right? SEC, you got to have ABS if you're going to participate in the baseball season. Or we're not going to allow ABS in the SEC, so nobody will have it. It's just, you can't have it all willy-nilly out there, I don't think. But ABS, the automatic ball strike system, could be coming. And I don't watch a ton of college baseball during the regular season. I do watch it, but not like a ton. I don't lose my mind about it. But I can tell you there was a lot of bad calls. Umpires in college aren't, I hate to say this, but aren't the best. So that'll just help the game. We've seen how ABS has helped this game of Major League Baseball with it being there. There's no doubt about it. It has stopped the egregious calls. I will never get mad at an umpire when you watch a challenge, ball comes in and the hitter goes bloop bloop, or the catcher bloop bloop, and they show you the replay, and like a quarter inch of the ball is in that little white box. Dude, that's close enough that umpire, if he misses that, he can't be judged on that. What the ABS has stopped is the egregious ones. The ones that are 3 feet off the plate that they call a strike, that you had no recourse before. Those egregious ones have gone away. You don't see a lot of 3-foot misses, 4-foot misses like you used to see out there. That's where it's gotten better. And that just helps the game at that point. It doesn't take long to do. It's fantastic how they rolled it out. College baseball could be bringing that up as well. And then as we take our break here, just letting you guys know, Cowboys wide receiver George Pickens, he will officially play the 2026 season under that franchise tender offer, $27.3 million. That's because him and the Cowboys did not meet the deadline, which was yesterday for all the teams, to agree for these guys under franchise tags to agree to long-term contracts. We'll have to see. The curious thing on that, as camps are reporting here over the next couple of weeks, Cardinals next week, the question on that is simply this. What's Pickens' mindset playing on that $27.3 million deal for a season with no long-term deal? CeeDee Lamb on the other side. That's the question with that. Uncle Lou coming up next. Second hour main event. Come and join us, folks. And we're back here. You guys got me just relaxing there a little too much. Woo, second hour main event. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, live on YouTube, TME Media AZ. You can find us here. And I was going to make a comment about it, Lou. Of course, Uncle Lou joins us on Thursdays. Last week came in on Friday for that epic Conor McGregor fight we talked about and hyped up for that nonsense that happened. We'll talk about that here in a few. But came in on Friday. This week, back to his Thursday time here in studio. And Lou, first of all, looking good today.
Thank you very much.
With that colored shirt.
I mean, literally, and we even talked about it. I've never appeared in any format where it was live without a collared shirt on. Period. And last week, I don't know what I slipped on ice.
You're on vacation.
Raggy T-shirt. No, I don't buy it. Anyway.
I purposely did do that thumbnail of you in the white shirt because you kept mentioning it. I purposely did it, and then you called me out for doing that again. I was like, Lou, it's fun.
Well, and I'll say this live, so there's a record of it. You would much rather you owe me than me owe you. I'm just saying it like that, and I don't blame me if all of a sudden your luck turns bad. All of a sudden, don't come looking over here. But I will say this: it's the dog days of summer in Phoenix. It's humid like St. Louis in Phoenix right now, yet it's still $1.06. And that's just what we live with. It's our pain. We deal with it, but I'm happy to be here. This is a perfect time. I've just finished the brass tacks of my NFL study. We got the World Cup final will be this weekend, and there's the British Open right now. And I'm going to be in Las Vegas over the weekend. So
this weekend?
This weekend I'm going to Las Vegas. In fact, now that the fights are on Paramount, rather than have to go to a casino and rent a table and just throw hundies at everybody because I want to get together with my boys and watch the fights, I can go to our little drinking establishment because it's on Paramount.
And do they do regular? I'm assuming you mean like a bar?
Regular TV, so the bar can have it. And
really?
They have a party room there. I'm going to have people in our community there, and we'll have a few laughs and watch some fights, and I'm really looking forward to it.
So that's what I wonder. I don't go to bars for that type of stuff, but I never thought of that. But you don't always get them like you used to. I know there's UFC bars that set it up and do it, but
now any
like
bar
that
can do it, and any living room can do it because of this new format, and so that frees me from having everybody to go to a casino to right off the strip on Trop, and it's a little hideout joint that we have, that's well known, Oasis Bar and Grill.
I was gonna say, you gonna name it so everybody's gonna flock in there.
I want to give them the props. It's owned by the Gone family that owns the South Point, where I stay. So it's all one big happy family, and the people there are great. The food is super. They're gonna do this for me, but they know there's going to be 8 to 12, 15, guys in our industry all there watching the fights and telling lies. So it'll be fun. It'll be eating wings.
You have to. How do you do betting then when you do that? Out of curiosity.
That's a good one. Most of them have apps, and I only have.
But you can't use most of the apps in Las Vegas.
You can use
Circa?
all of the local apps in Las Vegas. I have Circa and Westgate.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just curious, because I always forget to play. I always forget to play something, and then I'm in Vegas, and I'm like, "Dang it!"
You're right, because you can't play no DraftKings in Vegas.
No, you gotta go down to the actual.
I'll be coming in to go across, and a lot of my bets will be done in this fight card. I'm going to have maybe 3 bets, so it's not like the last couple cards.
Oklahoma City this weekend, by the way. We'll talk about that coming up. I'm excited for this main event, at least, on Saturday night. Of course, we'll talk last week's fight card as well. Some good fights on there. Last couple, we'll talk to Lou about that as well coming up here as well. But, the Open Championships happening right now. I know you like to talk to your industry counterparts and everything. About anything. Do you have anybody you're looking at this weekend on the top 10 or top 20 finishes over there in England?
I love playing that total. This week it was 267.5, up or higher or lower. And I asked all my golf guys, 3 of them. 2 said one side, 1 said the other. You know what that meant? No bet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nobody knows.
I don't want to flip a coin.
Yeah.
So really, this tournament, I'm on my own, and I played.
Yeah.
I
Now, do you
played-
think it's flip a coin because it's in England with the way that course is, with the wind that could possibly come in? Do you think that was what it was?
I listened to
or-
all that. I just asked the
Okay.
golf
I was
guys,
just
man.
curious.
I wish I could find my dialogue.
Because I mean, it's going to change. That's the thing about being over there. Is like today is one way, tomorrow is going to be like the opposite, and it's it's hard to play it.
and
Yeah,
they don't know
it's a
about
firm
this or that or
course.
the other thing.
The firm course right now, but if they do get some rain, it's going to turn into a sloppy. I know.
I took, but so I made a bet one on my own, and it's Scotty versus Rory, and Rory's getting 1.5 strokes. Sounded like a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, at least as I walked in here, Scotty ended the day 2 under.
Yep.
And Rory's 1 over at 5, so Rory has had a little bit of a slower start.
Yeah, still there, 1 over for Rory. Yeah, I didn't get to see
So
his
that tells
beginning,
me
but yeah, bogey
afternoon
right
could
off
have
the
been
bat.
different than the morning. Who
Yeah.
knows? One's good, one's bad.
Yes.
They're both terrible. We played at the Sand Hills Golf Course in Nebraska back when I lived there and when I was a competent golfer. And we would play 36, and when we'd go out early in the morning, and the golf card had no handicap on it
Yeah.
because the pro would know the wind, and he'd handicap the track for you, and then you'd come in and have lunch, but the wind would have changed, and so he would then handicap the afternoon
Yeah.
for you, and you'd go out and play. No sand traps, no rakes in the sand traps. Well, that's crazy. Why? Because by the time you stepped out of there, the wind blew it over anyway. So there's some links golf.
Yeah, the scores from the morning guys have been better than the
Looks
afternoon
like
guys
it.
for the most part.
It's what it
yeah.
looks like.
Yeah.
But again, it's early. It's
Again.
round 1. I'm not going to miss the cut today. I just got to keep Rory, at even. If I can keep him,
Close to that.
Scotty's 2. As long as I'm 2 or 3 away,
Yeah.
I think I got a shot. The issue is I think Scotty, because there's been less, there's less expectation, and people are looking, everybody and their brother betting is Fitzpatrick.
Oh
kid.
yeah, yeah.
So maybe this is a good time to look at Scotty.
Well, part of that's he missed that cut last week at the Scottish Open,
Mm-hmm.
so people seem to turn down on him a little bit. The one surprise guy today that a lot of people are negative on right now, Bryson DeChambeau's missed. I actually took him to make the cut this weekend.
Uh-oh.
I know, but that's a daring thing, right? Because he's missed the last, was it 3 or I know it's definitely 3. It might have been 4 last majors. He hasn't made the cut.
Yeah.
Well, he's -3 after today.
Oh,
So
he
I'm
is.
on the right side. Yeah, he's finished. He was in that morning group. He's -3 today. So give me a little bit of hope, Lou. All right, I might come through on that.
After you telling me that what you just told me, I'd look to fade him tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If
He's
he's
gonna put up
-3
an
today.
88.
Yeah, that's a good point. I need to make a note on that because I don't think that way. I have to get around to think that
I'm
way as
cursed
well.
with it.
Hey, Lou, tell everybody where they can find you. Of course, I know we're back to Oklahoma City. Maybe we'll get some Oklahoma Cityans and like when they always go to Europe and stuff, we get a lot of listeners and stuff from that area. Maybe we'll get some Oklahoma Cityans in this
Oak
week.
City, Tulsa. I know Oklahoma because coming from Nebraska, we had a big rivalry all the time. Anyway, I'm a sports handicapper, and I look at just select sports. I try and dominate the sports I work. I have a web page which really comes in handy because last week I was fortunate enough to be on so many discussions and shows like Steve has, talking about the fights that I couldn't get to. I looked up, it was 5, and I hadn't done my blog yet. So I have a web page where I can put all that stuff in backup, or if I'm traveling like this week, et cetera, et cetera. So the webpage, gamblu.com, there you can learn everything about me. I do, the top band gives you everything. I do a daily blog, which is this week's fights. Those will start turning NFL oriented in the fall. I do a couple podcasts. You can learn about it if you scroll down. But really, we support the San Xavier mission here in here in Arizona. It's the oldest mission in the country, located south of Tucson, about 2 hours south of Phoenix as well. And they're doing great work down there. We route what we can to the mission, and we carry their link on our page so that you can too. And Steve always lets me highlight the great work they're doing at the San Xavier mission And I say thank you to Steve every week.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Greatest thing to happen in Tucson right there, Lou. Or south of Tucson.
I think it's the greatest thing to happen in the whole Southwest. 16 like 78 or something.
Doing my little dig on Tucson
Think how
here.
old that is. 16 something, that thing.
And
And they
it's-
just restored it.
Yeah.
The new pictures of it are killed.
Is it done? Because I know we
Yes.
were there over winter when we were coming back from our New Mexico trip for the New Year and everything. We stopped by there and they still have the sketch. So it is done now. The new scaffolding's done?
I was going to say yes, but you know what? It could easily be some AI guy that does what
Yeah.
it's going to look like.
Well,
No,
they
I
did a
don't
nice
know
thing.
what
There
I'm
was
looking at
scaffolding
anymore.
up there, but they had this nice little cover on there that you could tell it was like a
just saw
a picture of it. But it makes it look like there's no work being done on
I
it
saw
or
a
anything like
recent
that.
photo that looks sharp.
Did you?
And it looked
I
finished.
went there. Okay.
I don't know, though.
Yeah, I don't know I can't remember what the time frame was on that. Of course, we're into that. We got NFL starting here, training camps. I mean, we're looking forward to your breakdown of the Hall of Fame game coming up here between the Arizona Cardinals
Don't
and
hold
the
your breath.
Carolina Panthers.
Who's in it? Carolina and who?
Carolina and Cardinals.
Oh, the Cardinals.
Yeah,
are in it.
Luke Kuechly's being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and of course Larry Fitzgerald. So they're the Hall of Fame teams. They both report next week, and then everybody else pretty much is the week after that for camp coming up here. So,
Boy, you think like Donor, Luis Gonzalez, Larry Fitzgerald, Arizona, Phoenix has really had a fortunate time with family type, grounded, level-headed, great superstars that lived in the area.
Mhm.
Currently, we're visiting the cancer center, the Banner Cancer Center at McDowell and like 10th Street. My wife has cancer, and we go up there and we open up the third floor as she goes to get her chemo treatments, and that right there's a picture of Larry's mother,
yeah.
who built the gosh darn thing. And the place is state of the art and killer. And so I went on a tangent, but Phoenix people have had really, really good superstars.
Yeah.
When you list those three guys, it's really big.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong
Kurt
from
Warner,
the sports perspective.
excuse me for not mentioning him.
Oh yeah, well, we can list a lot of them out there. Do me a favor, Lou, and pull that microphone just a little bit closer to you. Dale's been off, so that mic's been like all over that table there.
Rarely do people have to ask me to talk louder.
Just take some of the
we go.
outside sound on it and
There we
stuff
go.
like
Sorry.
that, right? But no, it's good. So, of course, you got football coming our way. You've gone through the Warren Sharps stuff. Did you get them all done now?
Oh, yeah, baby, I'm
go.
ready.
That means we're ready to go for the season,
I
folks.
got arrows in my tether, but we're not going to.
No.
I mean, we can start talking about it, but I'm not ready for releases.
Yeah,
yet.
no. The only one you've really talked about
Arizona.
is Ravens. Well, Ravens
Ravens.
under 11.5. And I think I looked it up. I think that line's moved to 10.5 now, I believe, as of like last week as well. So what I'm getting at on that is
I think you could be looking at something else.
oh, I could be okay.
I think.
Okay, because I looked it up on DraftKings and
looking
season
it
total.
up
I
on
want to say it was 10.5. You might be right. But I was going to say, if that is the case, that means a lot of people are agreeing with that under 11.5 for the
I
Ravens
don't think it's moved there.
coming up here. But yeah, that is a big movement for before in the season, right? How many people are actually looking at that stuff coming up here? Well, Lou's looking that up, of
People
course.
are starting to look now, especially as these distractions get out of the way.
The World Cup and-
the golf tournament.
Yeah, the Open's a big gambling tournament as well coming up here. And then baseball, second half of the season coming our way as well. I'm looking it up here, what I got it here. Let me see if I can find it.
11.5 minus 140 to the under for Baltimore.
Really? So it is like, okay. So I might have looked up
It's what I released today.
something else. You did, yeah. Okay. So I must have looked up something, or I just made it up. I don't know.
And so
I did look it up. But.
And when you look at that, then you can play games here under 10.5 plus 125. I would absolutely play each of those. The money's to be made at the under 10.5, and that's how you have to start thinking about these win totals.
Okay.
So I'll take one at 11.5, and I'll pay the 140, and I'm taking one at 10.5 at plus 125. Hit them both, and I'm 225 ahead on a $2 bet.
Are those full bets or those
full unit bets?
Full unit bets. Okay, for both of those. So that, yeah, that's the things you do that I just
I love.
you know.
I love that. I love to and like teams like Arizona, Tennessee, teams that people think are going to be dog meat that I think might be better than. I love. I'll take that up.
You said that it was 2 weeks ago. You said that you can't get any lower for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I
so.
said I spend a little bit of time looking at the Cardinals this year.
Yeah. So
even with all that baggage,
your phrase stuck with me when you said can't get any lower.
Well, it can't. Can
it's
it?
A good
what's
point.
What's going to have to happen? A meteor is going to have to hit the practice facility.
Yeah. No, I count football season as Lou getting the Warren Sharp 1,000-page document and Lou finishing going through the 1,000-page. That means we're almost here, baby.
I was home. It came out early, and it was over that 4th of July where I had time to really dive into it. And so each year the pressure for NFL starts a little bit earlier. I hold it off till July because really, as soon as the NCAA tournament NBA is over, and the hockey's over, there's nothing to talk about. So these sports books that sponsor all these programs, they got people talking about what bets you got to go run out and make now in the NFL. And they create a market when there should be none and when traditionally there hasn't been. So you got to kind of watch what you're doing. You don't want to go run out and bet a team right now in the NFL, especially to achieve anything positive right now, and people would say, well, why would you say that? You could get the best of the number. Well, you tie up your money a long time, and what happens if the day before the season the starting center breaks a leg? Now you're in trouble. All right, so injuries can only hurt you, and so you bet the positive things in the season or right before the season starts when you know that your roster is healthy. If you want to bet something this early and you got to make a bet, find a good under. Well, why? Because then the injury only helps you. Yeah. Does that mean at night you're saying, "Oh, I hope the tight end for the Packers gets hurt"? No, that's not what you're saying. But the reality is, there's trades, there's injuries. These kids put so much flex on their bodies; their tendons are snapping all the time, and so there's turnover, and so you have to kind of approach it like that. To me, positives get bet the day before the season, and right now, anything that you're pessimistic about, you want to take a little nibble of, go ahead.
Yep, and then don't forget, I know you mentioned it, but don't forget, Sneak Teep Podcast is up. Comes out on Mondays for you guys, for Lou, for this week's fight card. And then this week, About Business Podcast will be tomorrow.
And it won't be. It'll be on the webpage again because I'll be driving to Las Vegas in the rain, apparently.
That's why I wanted to add. Yeah, we're getting a huge rainstorm supposedly starting this afternoon.
Yes, but as I get to Vegas, I think I'm getting out of it. But I've been on that route.
You go 93 up to Kingman?
And it ain't great.
Yeah.
Though that 93, is a landmine anyway.
Well, drive safe, no doubt about that. No,
I'll be out early, and we'll do the best we can do.
Yeah. So Lou's doing all that. So on the webpage again for the picks this week, but a smaller fight here. So that's all Lou does. We got to wait for hockey season. You don't do regular season hockey, so playoffs next year and I was reading all this free agency stuff the other day. They announced their schedules and all of that, and I went, who cares?
Yeah, let's now we're getting ready for the monster. and really, as soon as the Hall of Fame game hits, the UFC will definitely be forced to take a back seat, only because every other sport has to as well. The NFL is a huge avalanche.
Also, college football reasons,
it's where everybody wants to
Sunday
be.
night or Saturday night football.
But that doesn't hurt because it gives me time to work the NFL, which is not easy to beat.
Well, if it was easy, we'd all do it. We'd all be millionaires, right? Yeah. From that perspective. But Lou, let's get into this big conversation that we got here. Last week's UFC event. It was such a good fight. I'll just give my synopsis. Such a good fight card to the last two fights. So we'll of course talk about this here, but the couple of fights I want to talk to you earlier in the day about was one, Mario Bautista getting the win, kid from here in town fighting up there at the MMA lab. Going in, I know you liked him in this fight as well, going into it against Corey Sandhagen. Unanimous decision for him as well. I know you're high on Bautista, but I'm assuming nothing's changed on your opinion on him. But I wanted to ask you more about Sandhagen. I like Sandhagen in fighting as well. You just ran into Bautista there. Does your opinion change on him at all, or is it just the person he ran up against?
A 4 and a 5 fought.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how good the UFC is to have them each ranked there. The issue was they just made a teeny mistake, and it's 4 that's 5 and 5 that's 4. And we said it's going to be Bautista's strength and wrestling. That's what got Sandhagen the last time was Sterling. And so that was a lovely win because we had Bautista as the second leg of a parlay. So our one unit was returning like 2.2 units. And so not only was I proud of the kid because I fist him all the time and he sees me up there hanging around all the time learning about MMA, but I'm so proud for John Crouch and the guys at the lab. That's a whole family up there, and now Bautista's being talked about in championship form, and who's right there that he may have to fight is O'Malley.
Yeah.
And they're acquaintances, and that's an unusual
both trained down here. Yeah.
That's an unusual circumstance. So let's see if we can avoid that ideally, but if we can't, then you want my opinion, and I won't give it until the About Business podcast comes out. I can tell you that, but I know that opinion right now. Be that as it may, you're about to whine about 2 short fights, and I'm going to tell you that when I have money on a guy, I don't. The last thing I want to do is survive and bite my nails 15 minutes or 25 minutes in a split decision. I want it easy, okay?
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk a couple other fights before we get to those.
And I got them easy, so don't disregard. When you make it easy, even on a deal like McGregor, who cares? You won your money. You see, that's what gambling will do to you. I don't give 2 hoots what the guys in the stands thought and all that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. Because I knew that was going to be your take. I mean, we're going to clash on that just because of the disappointment side of it. But before we get to those two, Brendan Royval and Kavanaugh here.
Yeah.
3rd round submission by Royval in this fight here. Change your opinion on Kavanaugh going in with that submission loss?
No. It showed what Royval can do when focused. Royval. And I had been talking Kavanaugh. Fortunately for us,
he was a big favorite.
We didn't bet him.
Yeah.
We used Riley. We didn't use Kavanaugh. That, again, sometimes I'd rather be lucky than good. But Kavanaugh made a good showing of himself against a guy in Royval that wasn't going to get beat that day.
Yeah, I mean, it was a phenomenal fight, just at the ending there as well. King Green, Terrence McKinney in this fight. King Green, I just like the way he fights. Last week, I saw you on another show as well, where you said the same thing of, Green's great until he just will let you down. Showed up into this fight, getting his face pounded in at the beginning of this, and it flipped in an instant. Main thing on this fight, King Green won this fight. Ref stopping the fight with 1 second to go in the round. Was that an early stoppage in your eyes?
What? No. However, I will say this: we had talked Green all week. Then I kind of, as fight came closer, I started thinking McKinney, and on the podcast we had like a quarter of a unit or a third of a unit on fight starts round 2.
Yep.
So that 1 second sure would have been nice.
I had that too.
And I was going to think I was so doggone smart by hitting that thing. And I was right there and they call it. And I just, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I had to
It was a fraction
round.
of a unit. So that was easy.
Yeah, I had to start round 2, just my standard fight. But it was, I was like, dang it, 1 second. It's just, man, the ref knows when that clock is. I mean, he was protecting himself, but he wasn't really doing it. So I understand the stoppage.
He got liver shotted. When you get liver shotted, your arms drop, your body shuts down, and that's why I'm saying it wasn't early. But McKinney said it was because he could take another shot or two to the head. And
that's the thing. 1 second to go. I would tend to favor towards, even if you kind of like get in there a little bit to shield him a little bit with 1 second. Well, that's the other side.
Okay,
I
who
know.
knows what
See,
the
you
who
look
knows
at it-
what the ref had?
This is what's so great about having you on is I put my $5 down for fun and everything. You know, obviously it's about business and stuff. So I look at it as yeah, you want to win, you want to win it, but at the same time, I want to see good fights also. So that's where we kind of clash. That's why it's so much fun having you on here. Before we get into those last two, I did want to ask you about Robert Whitaker and Krylov here, just because Whitaker ends up getting that KO there in that fight in the third round. Whitaker is an undersized man at that light heavyweight level. He's undersized at most where he fights here and everything. Krylov was just a taller, longer reach type of a fighter there. Whitaker going into this fight and fighting the way he did just impressed me a lot because he was at a lot of disadvantages there and got that KO. Would you recommend he stays up at these levels, or would you like to see him move back down a little bit so he's not as undersized? Or he handled himself well in this. He can probably handle anybody at that size, right?
Last I knew, I don't have any letters from Whitaker asking me what he should do with his career. But to answer your question, he said he's staying up there.
Okay.
And I don't know what disadvantages he had. Yes, he had size disadvantages, but his feet were better. He was faster. He could evade strikes better, and he was able to get to Krylov. And I was leaning Krylov all week going into that fight. Yep. Another one I'm glad we didn't use because you learned something there, and that Whitaker may have a little bit of gas left in the tank.
Yeah, and that's the only reason, I say disadvantage on size. It wasn't a disadvantage in the ring. But when you looked at them and they came out, you were like, this is a big.
Yeah, but Krylov was Frankenstein.
Yeah, he was getting his shots where Krylov would be blocking and Whitaker's jabs and stuff would get
Whitaker
through the
was
things.
The road runner.
Yeah, it was amazing. So when I use the word disadvantage with Whitaker, it just means it's a visual. It wasn't when he got in the ring, that's for sure.
Right, exactly.
Gable Stevenson, his first UFC match, expected to win. This fight went longer than it should have because of a low blow there on one of the kicks against Ellison. Just because he's a debuter, everybody's expecting this kid to be good here as well. Just your thoughts on Stevenson and that, obviously a huge favorite in this.
He really raw, really raw. You could see when he got down, but all the potential in the world. And working with John Jones and at Albuquerque with Jackson Winkle. John, I mean, he's going to do this each time, and Hokett's in that gym. So look for that kind of. There's already a little dialogue going back and forth between those two. That's funny. So there's that. But what I walk away with is who wants to fight that dude that was just in there with Stevenson?
Yeah, Ellison.
That's a bad hombre right there. He was willing in there and going to try and knock him out, and he had power, and he rang Stevenson up a time or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was an interesting. I'll tell you this: we went to a viewing party with it, and Ethan came along, and he shows up, and Ethan goes, "Hey, he was in the WWE because he was in the W for like 3 years when he first got out of the Olympic stuff and everything." So Ethan recognized him.
Stevenson was,
yeah, and then like 3 or 4 people showed up to this party, and a couple of them showed up after the fight, and they're like, "I just want to see that Gabe Stevenson guy fight." So this guy's coming with a lot of hype where people were coming into this
He's
thing.
a gold medal Olympic freestyle wrestler.
Ethan, who knows nothing about UFC, recognized him from other things. 3 or 4 people walked in asking if his fight had happened yet and stuff. So this guy's got a following, and if he can perform, the UFC likes that, right? So they'll be promoting him as he goes forward. And you're right, Lou. I'm going to complain about 2 short fights. I expected the Saint Denis fight and the Pimblett fight to be the fight of the night. What's up with Saint Denis here?
I told you he was uneven, and Patty was. I didn't see, and there were a lot of people. Benoit Saint Denis gonna just run right through Patty. I just didn't see it. He has had those Moicano and Poirier fights, and here's the third one. I'm not surprised. And really, Patty, I don't like him. But I'll make money on him. I like him now. You know what I'm saying? Because I just that fight had Patty on it for me, and it was a huge night it's a second huge night in a row. We've gone from like minus 1390 units to minus 1.5. So we've been on fire the last 2-3 cards, and that's going to continue. I'm happy to say that because it's hard to get up here and say, yeah, been 3 cards and I'm going the wrong way, but it is what it is. As Parcells says, you are what your record says you are.
I mean, is it for St. Denis' next fight? Is it just who his opponent's going to be kind of a situation? Or have you ever completely soured on him moving forward?
I think there's a card in France coming up, and they probably give him some subject.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Well, I have to wait and see what they do, but I think they like him, and I think they like the French exportation of their product, and so it would behoove them to give him a favorable opponent. But again, the UFC ain't calling me, asking me who to make fights with. But for Patty's relevant immediately now because he went all 5 with Gaethje, and he just did that to the God of War and made it look simple. So
I don't even think he broke a sweat. I mean, he had him in
barely.
that whatever pseudo headlock there, like instantly. It was like the bell rang, and Saint Denis was just like, "Come grab my neck."
That's right. Exactly.
What just happened? It was 52 seconds only because it took that long for Patty to make him fall asleep.
Looks like maybe sometimes the French have the same IQ level as the Brazilians. As in none.
Do the thing you're not supposed to do and have the fight end
or
early.
no IQ. Sorry.
And then of course Max Holloway, Conor McGregor. I just just in terms of this fight, I was viewing this. And I said it last week on air. I don't remember if I said it with you, Lou, but I was saying it on the regular program with Dale. And I was saying that I just think this is kind of like the Mike Tysons and that YouTuber guy, the Paul kid and stuff. This is just Conor McGregor coming back for a payday. Holloway's probably going to win this thing. It's probably not going to be a close fight. You had it under 5th round not starting as well. But so the fight went how it went. Is it derelict? How does that do for a gambling handicap when a guy goes in there and he's injured right off the bat?
Or if he goes in there injured?
That's what I'm getting at here.
Okay.
The UFC, a lot of people are saying McGregor was injured before. There's video of him going into a pain management clinic the week of and limping into that. And then the UFC letting that fight go off. 80% of the gambling cards were on McGregor in this fight. How do you handicap this and take this seriously if the UFC is going to let an injured guy go into this ring and not perform and the fight ends almost instantly because he can't stand?
We don't know what the UFC knew.
Yeah.
We don't know if McGregor was hurt before or not, despite what it may look like or what it doesn't. I don't have facts to make those judgments. All I know is 37 years old, the lifestyle that he lived, away from fighting for 5 years. He lost his last 2 going in, fighting a guy that's been real active.
Coming off a knee injury, too, in that last fight.
So we had Max straight at the minus 205. We had him inside the distance at a minus 125, and the fight to not start round 5. So it was again, huge night. It's great when it looks like I know what I'm doing because I worked so hard at this. Sometimes you watch my fight card and you think, has this guy ever handicapped a fight card in his life?
Right.
I mean, literally, it can look like that sometimes. So it's nice to be able to talk with some authority because I have a little confidence after this card. But now we're going to have to talk about this week's card. And so I'm going to quickly return to equilibrium because I just don't know. If I knew I was going to go 3 or 4-0, I'd talk about this card like I'm talking about the last one, but I don't know that. So the tone will change and we'll change our focus if you're done with.
Yeah, well, we're done with it. My biggest thing on that McGregor fight
you would have liked to seen 2-3 rounds of a good fight.
Obviously,
sure.
It was just a disappointing ending. I texted everybody I was with, and I was like, "Let's go. Let's just get out of here. This is stupid. What are we doing here?" Like McGregor finished, and I was like, "All right, I'm ready. Let's get out. Let's just walk out of this house."
I was too busy
we made
counting.
money on it, and I don't care about that, from my perspective, but. Just disappointing end of the night completely. We're just like, oh, all right. But my biggest concern is obviously, and what I was thinking about was more on that gambling perspective of integrity of the UFC questions come into play with that McGregor fight. Whether you believe he was injured before or not, the way that started is kind of like, man, that's a negative gambling integrity. So that's what I wanted to ask you.
It is if in fact everything goes the wrong way. I don't know facts.
Yeah.
So I'm only in the give me the facts and I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. And since I don't have facts, I don't know. I will say this: I'd be lying to you if part of the handicap of what I do now, especially since Paramount, is I always want to beware of which fighter the UFC believes or regards as more marketable and potential lightning in a bottle.
Bring
so
more
if that
eyes
says
to it.
whatever it says, you take it for what it's worth. But that's part of my handicap now, and that's an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, that's the you answered the question I was kind of leading you towards and kind of asking about. You're a pro, Lou. You knew where I was going with that and answered it the way it was, because it's just that's I just sit there and go, man, it's $5. I was on the right side of it, but if it went the opposite way and I lost $5, I'd be like, shucks, whatever, move on with my life. But then I sit there and go, man, if I had thousands of dollars on McGregor on this fight, and then he comes in injured, I'd be upset.
And let's talk about the everybody was on McGregor, okay? Well, what happened was there was every $5 and $10 bet was on McGregor. Yeah. The problem was every $1,000 and $5,000 bet was on Holloway.
Yeah, the tickets
and
at 80%.
And that's why the Holloway line went from minus 205. He was minus 275 by the time the fight went on. Yet the numbers of people were betting this guy, the uninformed, and the few were betting this guy, but bigger bets. Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
And then I saw like the King Green fight. We took it on Thursday at plus 110. Day of the fight, a few hours before the fight card started, I saw it flip to him to minus 110. And I was like, man, there's a lot of flippage there on the King Green. Like, is there something? I obviously thought he could possibly win that fight. So I don't know. You've opened my eyes on that, and I do keep a little eye on that stuff because it does worry me.
Let me explain it to you. Why will that not happen in a month? I'll tell you why. Because the football market will be away. Yeah. The football market has nothing to bet on. They're betting on the UFC. So you're going to see some fluctuation right now. As soon as the Hall of Fame game comes, it's like the 98-year-old dude sitting in the hospital and the thing is barely going, and then it goes.
That makes sense because I saw a tweet. I think it was Tuesday, where a guy was like, there's no good numbers on the home run derby. There's no good numbers to bet on the All-Star game tonight. He goes, I'm going to go 3 games unless I'm going to do the 2 world. But he was panicking that he only has 2 events to gamble on, the 2 World Cup games, Tuesday and Wednesday. And he was all like, I don't know, I've never bet this little in my life. So that is a good point that people, a big card, a lot of eyeballs on it, nothing else on Saturday night. So everybody paid into it. I'm telling you, they got to have something. They got itchy fingers. They got to throw something down somewhere.
Just remember, sometimes the best bet is the one not made.
Yeah, absolutely. For that, Robert says, OKC, will there be flopping? Well, that's referring to the NBA team there, the Thunder. We'll talk about this week's card coming up from Oklahoma City when we come back with Uncle Lou. Don't forget, On Veasan does a lot of other podcasts out there. You can see him out there as well on his site. He retweets it when they post this stuff. Entertaining, folks. Come on back. We'll talk this week. Coming up next. coming out the Real Matrix coming out. Lou was just saying, we saw the ad there and was talking about the Angry Page. New episode coming out. It's on Rumble or on the free podcasting systems. You can listen to a show, while you're driving to Vegas if you want, for the Angry Patriot there.
I've known, if you don't know, his name's Dave
Yeah.
Nash. I've known Nasher for a long time. He's a great, solid dude. I don't know that I understand a lot of what he talks about in this show because I worry about this, but he's really a pretty good sports opinion maker himself, and he's very good at hockey. He used to play.
Yes. He was a minor league baseball player.
Played
Yeah, yeah.
baseball, but
he's
he
huge
was weird
hockey.
on hockey. Yeah.
Very huge on hockey,
Yeah.
and loves to gamble a little bit. So when you guys get together, it's fun to watch you guys kind of talk in those contexts as
fun.
well. So.
Good dude. Very good dude.
So this week coming up here, you've got Oklahoma City this weekend. So kind of a letdown. I'm going to say a letdown type fight, just off of that huge numbered card last week as well. From that, Oklahoma City, big ring for Oklahoma City, or is
Yes.
this something? Okay.
Large cage.
5 p.m., by the way, on Saturday for the main card coming up. I do like the main card in this. Now, prelims, it's not fair for me to say this is an Apex fight, but for me, there's only a few fighters that I even recognize on this card as a, not a savant of this. So obviously Stuart Nichols in the prelims here. I've seen him before. Bashi, I've seen him before. Delgado in the prelims. So Lou, I'm going to let you tell me which prelims. I see a lot of black shadows here, so we either got debuters or fill-ins. I'll let you on the prelims tell me which fights should we tune into here in this card for Oklahoma City on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, we want to watch them all, but there's just a lot of fluff in here, and so I'll take a couple quick shots. This Lebonsaye fights a South Korean. His name's very easy to pronounce. The easy part of it, Ko. So I got Ko against this U.S. fighter.
It's only easy because you skipped the first name there, Lou.
I skipped one of them. Okay,
Yes.
but Jean Paul is his last name Lebosonyani.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And he's
Anyway,
an American
John
fighter
Paul.
on top of it. Yeah.
John Paul against Ko. They're 170 pounders. John Paul, 6 years younger, inch taller, switch hitter. Beat Austin Vanderford to come in here. Comes in with a little momentum. Vanderford is Paige Van Zant's significant other. And then this kid Ko, pretty good ground game, a lefty. I think he beat Oban Elliott, which raises an eyebrow for me. As well, Ko opened 250. Now we're seeing him down 215, getting close to minus 200.
He's minus 205 on DraftKings right now.
This one is be real quiet and wait and watch the About Business podcast,
All right.
or tune into it because I could be interested.
Check the website on this one coming up here, but obviously
It's
money
Ko
going.
or no for me on this fight, though.
Okay, because I'd say a lot of money looks like it's going towards John Paul here.
That's exactly correct.
To start. So About Business, check it out on the website, and we retweet out when he does get that posted as well there for that welterweight bout. Then tell us what's the next one. Is the Bashi Delgado fight anything to pay attention to? By the way, I brought up Nickel because I've seen him fight before, but just so
he's
you know,
such a huge underdog.
he's plus 700.
That's why I
there,
breezed.
so. I know,
right
but I'm
down.
just letting everybody know since I mentioned it. Somebody might go, why didn't you mention the one you talked about? It's an 1,100 favorite there for Korea coming up this weekend. So not necessarily,
So
one you want to bet.
McMillan and Montez is a fight where McMillan trains here in Phoenix with Tim Welsh, and he's going to have huge size here, 6 foot against 5'7", 4 years younger, 7-inch reach advantage against this Montez from Venezuela. The only reason I'm interested in this is because McMillan's from here. He beat a guy named Zucchini to get into the UFC. Zucchini barely belongs in the UFC, I have to be honest. And about the only guy that he could beat or could beat him, 2 guys at the bottom level, is Ricky Turcios. And how does Ricky Turcios fit here? That's who Montez beat to get this fight. So these 2 guys each beat stiffs to get here. I don't know which one's going which way, but I'll say McMillan is younger, bigger, and trains here. So I'll be pulling for him. And then, yes, Delgado and Bashi, great fight. Bashi's a really, really highly talented wrestler savant. and he is going to absolutely try and take down Delgado, who has dubious takedown defense coming into this fight. But Delgado trains at the MMA lab here, and the MMA lab's an unbelievable gym, especially if you're looking to grapple and wrestle. So he's seen nothing but that. And what they do is they'll make him go 2 rounds heavy with a wrestler and just wear him out, and then they'll put a fresh striker that hasn't been in for the 2 rounds for the 3rd round. Or they'll put 2 rounds of the striker in, make him have to try and deal with the striker, which Delgado will surely have advantage in. And then after he's tired, they'll put a fresh wrestler in on him in the 3rd round and try and wear him out. They know how to train a fighter. Delgado opened a small favorite here, -170. He's now close to pick.
Yeah, it's -118, and then Bashy's -102 right now.
So there's money come in on Bashy. Beautiful, because I'm all over Delgado here and already released him on the webpage and on the VSiN digital magazine.
Over under 1.5 for this fight for a featherweight bout. One of the do.
What's the price,
it
though?
favors the over -210.
There
is where
you
it's
go.
at right
That's
now.
right.
Yeah.
That fight going
But
on.
that's what I was going to say, though. Featherweight bout, it would be a submission that would finish. Does somebody have power to do knockout?
Oh yeah, Delgado definitely has the advantage on the feet, and what he needs to do is just make sure he sees the 2nd round, because the tight wrestler, 25-year-old kid still learning, that's where he'll begin to maybe wane, where Delgado's used to fighting higher competition all 3 rounds. That'll be the advantage. But look for the 1st round for Bashy to be strong and take him down a couple times. It's going to be, we're going to have to sweat it.
Okay, perfect. For those 2 fights there, then we get into the main card here. Our old friend from Brazil, Tabitha Ricci, is back in there, female fighter against Fatima Klein here. I've always thought Ricci was a fun fighter to watch. Everything, obviously, women's fight over 2.5, just so you know, -375. There. But Tabitha Ricci's a big underdog in this one. Klein is a -500 favorite here.
Yeah, Klein is strong. She's 5 inches taller. She's 5 years younger. Got a 7-inch reach advantage. Ricci's underside for the division. She steps in on short notice for Amanda Ribas, who had to step out of the fight. So Ricci is maybe the cutest of the ladies in the whole of the UFC roster. She is how old?
She's older, isn't
She's
she?
31
Mid-30s?
years
Yeah,
old.
okay. Oh, low 30s.
But she is as cute as a button, and I'm not a weirdo, okay? But if my kid that's 30 came home and said I'm dating Tabitha Ricci, I'd be saying way to go, son, because she's as cute as she can possibly be, and she's a tiger bulldog fighter. That she's a cornered Chihuahua, and you know how mean those can be if you live down here. Issue is this Klein's the real deal. Trains with Aaron Blanchfield, and eventually Klein is going to win a decision in this fight.
Okay. And then Chase Hooper here, Mitch Ramirez in a lightweight bout right now. Chase Hooper is the favorite. Right now he's a 355 favorite going into this fight.
Yeah, they give Hooper a guy they thought he could handle last out, a guy without a lot of huge power and everything, and all the dude did was knock him out. Hooper, if you grapple with him, he's going to beat you. If you stand at length with him, he's going to be okay. But if you get inside and you're dedicated and you work his body and then get to his chin, he's a tall, long, gangly kid. He don't like to get hit too well. And so all this kid Ramirez has is the ability to hit. But I just don't. This really appears to be a setup fight for the organization who likes Hooper. This appears to be a setup fight for the organization that likes Hooper to do well.
Over under on this fight is 1.5, -145 to the over. Here in this fight, just hearing what you're saying there, I found that 1.5 over.
This appears to be a fight that the organization would like to see Hooper do very well.
I wonder if people are catching on what I caught on to.
Well, I'm wondering if you are.
No, I got what you said.
Okay.
That's why I brought it up.
Okay.
Number stood out there. Middleweight bout, Jared Cannonier against Christian Leroy Duncan here. Middleweight bout for these 2 guys. If these 2 guys I've seen fight individually with each other, Duncan is a favorite coming into this fight as well. -360 right now. Over under 2.5. minus 160 to the over for this middleweight bout for these two guys.
Yeah, I mean, Duncan's just huge. He's going to be 6'2" against 5'11", 2-inch reach advantage over Cannonier, 12 years younger. Duncan's 30 and Cannonier's 42. However, this is a huge step up for Duncan. He hasn't fought anybody with this kind of ring savvy, guile, mixed martial arts pedigree, and arsenal. He's very well rounded. And Cannonier knows this is the end of the show, and the UFC's trying to retire him basically by putting these young studs in front of him. But I'll remind everybody, a couple fights back, they put Greg Rodriguez in against Cannonier, and he beat Cannonier, knocked him down once, I think, in the first round, came out and was sucking air in the second round. Cannonier stopped him. So Jared Cannonier is no slouch. He's no stepping stone. He's no journeyman. And I think he's going to show well for himself in this fight. He's a big underdog, and I'm not afraid of him as a big underdog. I'm not afraid of the over because I believe that, in essence, is kind of a bet for Cannonier as well. And we'll have to see how else and what other ways I may be able to consider him. Maybe the points handicap, which on DraftKings you can take Cannonier plus 3.5, and I don't know what the pay is.
Plus 110.
Plus 110 at plus 3.5. Yeah, that could easily be a
He's plus 285 right now.
About business podcast consideration.
Perfect.
He
for
trains
Cannonier.
here at the MMA lab, by the way. He's probably next to John Crouch, and the coaches, the absolute father figure leader of the gym.
This I'm looking forward to this fight as well. I know the odds are a little off, so when you say Cannonier on this, piqued my interest here because just on the paper I thought this is going to be a better fight, I think, than the odds are telling us.
He's fought at heavyweight.
Yeah,
that's
where I think I last saw him at. Yeah,
and he's fought now at middleweight, so he's felt the power of big, strong guys, and this dude ain't going to scare him with his size. He's seen it before.
Any worries? Probably not, but any worries about him going smaller for this fight, for the weigh-ins and everything?
Any worries about what?
For Cannonier to get smaller, if he, heavyweight, light heavyweight, and then keep shrinking?
Making weight? No,
Yeah.
the guy's ripped. If you see him, you
he's
shake
solid
his
muscle.
hand, and it's like.
I haven't met him in person, but I see his picture.
He's a great kid too. He's just a really, really fine young man. These kids that go to these gyms, man, and I speak of the MMA lab because I know it, but it's the same at Fight Ready or Tim Welsh's gym, or for that matter, Sarah Weidman. They could be on the street. They could be selling this, that, or the other thing, robbing. No, they're all motivated in young, feeding off one another, trying to better themselves. You can't help as a mature guy like me, saying it lightly, to go hang around in that environment on a Saturday is really invigorating. It really is.
Yeah, the thing that shocks me about it that I didn't know is how close these gyms are. So guys will show up to fights to support other fight mates and things. They train with them all the time. They see them.
Yeah.
I don't know how good of friends they are, but they work as one, almost like one entity within a gym with that support line. And I didn't know that was out there until I
it's an
started doing all this stuff.
unbelievably tight community. It really is. And while there'll be rivalries within a city, but you take a kid from New York and throw him into Albuquerque, or to throw him into Extreme Couture in Vegas, you just ask the guy, can I come by and work out? Oh yeah, here it is. Come on. There's no hard kicking, no head kicks, no this, that. They go over a few, boom, and then they take in the other culture. It's good for gym and individual.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've learned that kind of shocked me. Not that guys are like by themselves, but you just expect guys to kind of go in there and keep to themselves. Egos probably get involved, and I'm sure that happens, but you don't see that in here.
At the lab, it's a family, and so there's none of that.
Yeah.
And that's what strikes me hardest, is that there really isn't. I mean, again, there's articles on O'Malley talking about having to fight potentially Bautista, and he's like, it's weird.
Yeah, that's what I was reading.
That's a great way
week.
for him to say that. It is. It's odd. They're buddies. They train together. They know each other. It's weird.
Then we got the main card here coming up here. Du Plessis from South Africa, and then Usman here from Nigeria battling this out. Du Plessis right now is a minus 225 favorites. I do believe his numbers come down from opening. Lou will let us know on that. Over under 3.5 for this fight, minus 200 to the over for these two guys here in a middleweight bout.
Yeah, so he Du Plessis opened 240, so it's
So it
not
has come
moved a
down.
lot. Total was 3.5 minus 190, and I'm seeing 3.5 minus 190. I'm also seeing some 4.5s. So I could easily see me playing around with totals here. Usman was a champ and fought his best fights at 170. He's coming off a fight against Buckley in his last almost a year ago, where he mopped the floor with Buckley, and Buckley's a guy who doesn't understand anything about wrestling. He was designed to make Usman look good. Usman's got 2 bad knees, and in his heyday was untouchable. This ain't that Usman now. Now he's taking a fight up in weight against an ex-champ that's going to be much bigger, thicker, and stronger than he. So this is a Duplessis. Maybe Usman takes him down a couple times in the first round, but I think as the fight wears, and it will, I think the Duplessis will and size and strength, just too much for a guy in Usman that's now 39 years old, and his best is just behind him, unfortunately.
Duplessis striker, so he's got
an odd striker, bobs and weaves. He's got good strength, and he can wrestle, but he don't have Usman's wrestling, but he's got much more size and strength. So we'll see how that plays out. Usman's gonna have to wrestle him up, though. Usman will come out shot out of a cannon trying to take him down. Anything shy of that, he'll get possibly fit.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Duplessis wants to keep it up, right? And Usman wants to keep it on the ground.
I think that as a general statement is factual.
Absolutely. So, big favorite here. I'm going to call it big favorite, but 2-1, right? 225 favorite here for Duplessis going into this as well. And then 3.5. You don't see. You said 3.5. You're seeing some 4.5s out there. That does intrigue me a little bit. With the way you described this main event as well.
Then I start to think about, hey, why don't I, I could easily take the over 3.5, or fight starts round 3, and then come back with fight doesn't go the distance. And so that'd give me 15 minutes of time where the fight, I could be a pig and win 2 bets. And if I don't, I could win one and lose one. I kiss my sister, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
See, that's what you do. You open up my eye. I never think about that stuff. Like you said, 15 minutes in this game is a long time for things to happen out there. So Saturday night, Paycom Center from Oklahoma City. I'm sure the crowd's going to be rapid and everything here in Oklahoma City, but kind of I'm going to say an unusual place to have a UFC card, at least for what we've seen. I don't know. I know it's a big city, but
it fits perfect the way I look at it. There's a soccer game at 2
at noon
on Saturday, 2 on Saturday here.
Oh, you're talking about soccer.
And then it goes into the fights. And then on Sunday, we got the noon championship game, which I would hope everybody be interested. I'm sure interested.
Oh, my goodness.
I have an Argentina 9-1 ticket, so I'm trying to figure out.
Still sitting on that?
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, because I'm going to do something. I'm not. I won't. I'll either play Spain to win the 2 units I have on it, and I either make some or don't lose any, or I'll play Spain to win a little so I can be win or win. I just do better with the original Argentina.
Yeah.
That's more like the tactics I like to use. After all this time, I want to cash that ticket.
Yeah.
And it may not be a full 9-1 when I get done with it. It may be more like 4.5 or 5.
Oh.
But I take money to the bank. I take money to the bank, not percentages.
Exactly. Oh, life's rough. I only ended up 4-1. Oh, boo.
Well, that's what I do. I try and put the future bet is only a tool to allow me to make sure I scrape.
Absolutely.
That's all I do.
Absolutely. So, that's Sunday at noon. I always forget about that third place game.
And the total went from 2.5 to 3 to 3.5, which means that who's motivated for that game?
That's my point. They're both let down.
How do you even bet it? I think I think you like. I think that it's the Sunday game you want to bet.
I saw England's manager. I don't know if he said it yesterday or today, but he's like, France doesn't want to be in this third place game. We don't want to be in this third place game. None of us want to be here. And I'm like, oh, Lord, it's probably the attitude.
Especially the heat that English coach has taken.
Rightfully so, Lou. He made a catastrophic mistake yesterday that even the most novice soccer fans probably recognized early on after they took that 1-0 lead. And he made it was a mistake it'll go down in the annals of worst mistake you can possibly make as a coach. and that was play
it's
defense.
It's a big one.
And it's
And
just
it couldn't happen to a better bunch. Only group it could have happened to better than the English would have been the French.
And that's what cracks me up. You sit back and think about it. This coach has worked his whole life to get to this level and coach the English national team. And it's the highest honor on the planet. He's had success everywhere he's been in order to get that job. And then you do the stupidest thing you can do and play only defense for the last 40 minutes of that game, and you lose it. And it's just like, you worked your butt off to get there. You've never done that before, and you choke in that situation. It is an amazing thing to think about.
Yeah, it's sport is cruel for one team, and
That's
the joy of winning is for Argentina.
Yeah, I said earlier, I just don't know. Like, you almost have to fire the guy just because, like, I don't know if you can recover from that. Like, your fan base is always going to hate you.
Well, your players were aware of it and discussing it. The fans, the media. I've seen a ton of it on Twitter.
Yeah, I just think for to kind of like wash your hands of it and move directions. I almost feel like you have to make that move.
He might have to move into the sunset. Like the cowboy walking off. And
it's like the South Korea manager, where even the president of because they didn't make the knockout round and they were supposed to. The South Korea president came out and said he wants an investigation of how the guy even got hired.
Oh boy!
So that guy's like, I got to move. Like, it's that big of a deal to these guys.
South Korea. I will.
He's moved back to America now because
I've been to South Korea, and that's a tightly run operation.
Yeah. When the president comes out and goes, "We need to investigate how we even got hired," you go, "All right, kids, we're getting on the plane."
I surely would want no trouble with authorities in South Korea.
Yeah, it's such a religious thing. But that's this weekend as well. Obviously, you got Argentina. You have to figure out how to play the rest. But Ballot Business tomorrow will be posted at sometime tomorrow. I'll keep my eye open for it.
On the Gamblu
webpage.
I won't have the podcast out because I'm traveling. So sorry.
I'll watch for that. No, I want to be clear. And I'll watch for that too, Lou, when you post it and say it's up. I'll watch for that as well so I can retweet that and remind people not to go to the podcast. Because last week I felt bad because in my promo thing I put, go to About Business, and then like an hour later I saw you didn't do it. And I was like,
No, they were asking, and I was trying to put it out. So
yeah, so I'll look for that to remind you guys out there. If anything else, you can talk to your work people tomorrow about UFC this weekend and the fighters. Lou, appreciate it very much. We'll see you next week as well, and for everybody else, well, we'll see you next week as well. 2 more Fridays off. The last week of July, we're back to our 5 days here, but we are taking tomorrow off to get some things done. We'll see y'all on Monday, everybody. Have a great weekend.